and introduce our players. We have to the bottom left-hand side of the map our red Protoss. It is going to be Patience. And to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Protoss player, it is going to be Classic. Okay, so let me, I'm just going to be paying attention to the stream for a moment or two just while I make sure it does actually come back online. That's always a, that's always a concern when you do a quick reset, and if you're on delay especially, just making sure it's back online before we're good to go. I mean, at the very worst today, guys, I've just said I'm going to try not to get annoyed or upset or anything. We're just going to go and cast through it and see what happens, because it's a bit of a mess. The worst thing about today, though, is that I actually can't just drive home, because I don't have my car here, so I can't exactly just get home super quickly if we want to try and go home and cast. I knew I should have just tried to go home. I knew I should have just tried it. Alright, anyways, we're going to be seeing a gateway with double gas coming down from Classic. Same for Patience back on the other side of the map. Nothing too ridiculous here in the very early stages. Pretty much what you would kind of expect to see at this stage of the game on Nuclear Precinct. Double gate openings, allowing you to go in towards kind of a couple of Stalkers, a couple of Adepts, depending on how you want, depending on how you kind of want to execute your build, and all the rest of it as well. So we've seen a Cybercore coming down here as well from Classic, and we're going to be seeing a Cybercore on the other side of the map from Patience too. So we're setting up both of these and just having a look to see where this is going to be going over the next couple of minutes. There's a pylon coming down as well from Patience here on the main base. So setting up with the pylon once more, and yeah, just seeing how this goes as we have this initial setup coming up. Is the stream back live, guys? Sorry, I just have to double check that. Yes, we are live, it seems. Perfect. Sorry, I just had to tab to check that quickly, which is why the screen freezes there. Alright, guys, so yeah, we're going to see a couple of Adepts on the way up. Mothership Core as well coming up from both players, so pretty similar openings until actually Patience decides to cancel his Adepts, and he builds, well, he starts to build a Stalker instead, then he decides to go for no units bar the Mothership Core, and now he's going to pop down the Nexus. So it's going to be a bit of a different way to start things off here from Patience, just playing a little bit more greedy, and of course that does open him to a few little weaknesses, although it may not turn out so bad. You know, these two Adepts, they're going to move across the map, and as they move across the map, get in towards the main base, they're going to head in towards that main, and the Stalkers are still going to be out. You know, there's still going to be two Stalkers and a Mothership Core. It's just Patience isn't going to have as much map control as he would usually if he'd built the Stalkers before the Nexus. So usually he may have two Stalkers out on the map and then two Stalkers in his base. This time he's probably only going to have the two Stalkers in his base. As he comes across here, he's actually going to get a scout on his opponent as well. He'll see Classic about to pop down that Nexus, and there that goes as two Stalkers from Classic coming out too. He's going to rally these to his main mineral line just in case there's a proxy Stargate or something. Of course, Classic not scouting yet. Having those Stalkers in the mineral line is just an extra kind of layer of safety, as now he sees the faster Nexus, and he will know that this was a bit greedy out of Patience, and we'll see what those Adepts want to do. The problem is, again, these Adepts, if they shade on in towards the main base, well, there's already a Mothership Core here, a couple of Stalkers as well, and they're just going to die. So it's not like they can get to, they can probably pick up a couple of kills, but is it worthwhile? Well, you might argue that yes, it is, because there's a faster Nexus and getting some damage done will definitely help Classic to kind of just stabilize a bit in the game. He is dropping down now a Stargate, so he will have another form of harassment on the map very shortly. And let's see if that's going to be something which can help him out with the work account, which again will struggle just a little bit here, just because he has got that slightly later Nexus coming down. And, you know, for this small amount of time, Patience is able to make one extra probe per production cycle. And yeah, it'll just be a small probe bleed for Patience. But again, with an Oracle on the way up, now have we completely crashed? Okay, that was me completely crashing and lagging out. Well, that's not happened for a while. Let's just ignore that for now. But yeah, we see a few Stalkers at the front helping to deflect, and we do actually see the Adepts committing in, but not good play at all by Classic, because he doesn't target down any probes. He hits a gateway once. He's really not going to get much done with this, although one Adept may get behind the mineral line, and that might lead to a couple of kills, depends on... hits the pylon again. Classic just does not really have the target fire today. Finally gets one probe, but that will be all for now. That is a little bit of a mistake from Classic there, not really using those Adepts to their fullest potential. Now he'll come in towards the front, and we're going to be seeing two Adepts shading through again. At the same time, Oracle approaches the main base. And we've seen these few Stalkers just getting rid of that Adept once again. So an Adept goes down, and the Oracle continues to work its way through these probes. So a few more probes going down, and these Stalkers from Patience helping to push that Oracle away as well. Here's the two Adepts coming back in from Classic 2. He's going to start working his way through those probes. So Patience being pulled all over the place, and this is definitely Classic getting the damage done which he wants here. Making sure he can kill off a few workers, make up for that slightly later Nexus. Now he actually takes an eco lead. However, it does cost him a few units, obviously. A few Adepts have gone down throughout this, and he's still got a couple more Adepts in his army. And until, Resonating Glaives comes up, those Adepts are not necessarily the best of units to have in this in this game. So see some Stalkers continue to fight onto those Oracles. We're going to be seeing them actually moving out to the front now, as well as a couple of Depths start to shade on in towards the main base. And Classic just continue to have a little bit of a look to see what's going on. Stalkers blinking back, and you can see those Adepts starting to take so much damage. Probes getting the full surround on the Adept too, and again just helping out as the Oracles come in towards the main base, look to see what else they can get up to now. Answer is not very much, as they do fly out over to the right hand side of the map. Dark Shrine coming up from Patience to the top side of the map. So Dark Shrine coming in, and more Stalkers from Patience just going to move all the way over to the right hand side. So more Stalkers of Patience continue to move on over to the right, and we're just going to be seeing still Classic holding a pretty decent position. I mean, as long as he can defend against this income kind of Stalker attack with DTs / Archons as well, then this should be pretty okay for him. As we're going to be seeing these Immortals, Sentry Stalkers just gathering up together. The units here from Patience just gathering up as well. And still that Dark Shrine now coming into play. Observer going towards the main. What's over here? This Oracle actually coming back in, picking up a whole bunch more kills. 5, 6 workers going down. And I'm just going to be seeing these Stalkers getting rid of that Oracle now. And that does indeed fall. So Oracle falls, and another DT warping in here. And you see Patience just going to lift that up in towards the Raw Prism. Classic moving back down in towards the natural expansion as DT gets shot down pretty quickly. So far, no luck for Patience. Now again, Classic does not have a blink upgrade or anything like that, so in terms of ground-based units, Patience still has an army he can do a bit more with. I mean, he doesn't have the Immortal count that Classic has, which is definitely something to keep in mind, but his army is much more mobile, so outside of a straight-up fight, Patience should be able to get a bit more done with his army. But when it does come to that straight-up fight, it's going to be Classic who instantly has that small advantage because he just has more firepower from the Immortals, and that will play a pretty big role in any sort of fight which we see. See, Patience going to be continuing to tech on up here with a Robo Bay and a +1 upgrade. But Classic, going in towards 5 gates of his own, well, that's 5 extra gates, that's 8 gates total if I'm not mistaken, and that is going to be a lot of pressure to go across the map and to try and get something done. So, I see this War Prism taking some damage once again. And we're just going to be seeing seeing what else is going on in the next few moments. So, a few Stalkers from Classic still just patrolling the edge, and still some more units from Classic moving out in towards the center of the map. So just moving around here, seeing what's up. Disruptor on the way out from this Robo facility. More gateways coming down in the Forge as well. And we're just going to be seeing that Templar Archives coming up to being about 75% of the way done right now. So Templar Archives about 75% of the way done. We're going to be seeing a few more Depths warping in as well. And this Classic just looking to stabilize up on 3 bases at this point. So he's just looking to stabilize on the 3 bases, and we're going to be seeing these Adepts, Stalkers, Immortals just joining up from Classic still towards that 3rd. So still just joining everything together. We still see quite a few Stalkers over here from Patience, looking to see what they might be able to get up to in the very near future. Disruptor on the way out as well from Patience, where he sort of mentioned that before. He's going into this Disruptor tech, which is the next stage of the game for him, and it does make things a little bit more difficult for Classic, who may very well have a bit of a stronger army right now. But man, it only takes one Disruptor shot that Classic doesn't see, or he makes one mistake and misses micros. Suddenly there's a Disruptor shot and you center your army, and you lose a lot of supply. A second one hits as well, and suddenly the Immortals are dead, and things can start going very wrong very quickly. So despite the fact that Classic seems to have had a lot of advantages throughout the game, it definitely seems as though, I mean, despite the fact Classic had a lot of advantages throughout the game, I mean, Patience still has opportunities, but it's not looking pretty. But Classic definitely, with the damage that he's done and so on, looking pretty good right now, improving forwards. And I love the fact he's introduced some Phoenix off of the Stargate he had earlier. And with these Phoenix, he's going to be able to lift up the Disruptors during the fight, cancel their shots. And as he cancels their shots, he's going to be able to really make things a whole bunch better for himself. As we see Stalkers continue to move forward, he's going to see a pylon or 2 going down right here. And you're going to see some more probes taking a whole bunch of damage as well. Oracle coming in and continuing to work its way through these probes too. And we're going to see these Adepts warping in also. And they're going to continue to get shut down. We're going to be seeing a bit of a weird situation, which is kind of turned into a base trade here As I see Classic pushing into the front at the same time, Stalker's going towards the main base. They're going to avoid the overcharges, whereas Classic chose to fight through those. You can see a Disruptor Shot coming down. There is not well, there wasn't a need for a lift on those because he targeted down in plenty of time. He's going to I think that Disruptor Shot actually went off. I don't even know what's going on. It's kind of crazy right here. Everything going on at once, and still third base under attack by an Oracle. There's still Stalkers across the map as well, trying to see what they can do. As we are in full on base trade mode right now, but it's definitely Classic. He looks to just be doing a little bit more right here. Pylon getting killed off. You're going to see him continue to work his way through the Assimilator, the Nexus, and through the rest of this as well. And we're just going to be seeing still Patience across the map. A whole bunch more units continue to blink around, kill off Adepts, and just do a little bit extra, a few extra little bits and pieces wherever possible. Still some Stalkers working their way through this Nexus as well, and again, Patience with plenty of units working his way through probes and all the rest of it too. So Patience continue to set this up and try and make something happen, but overall in the base trade, I mean, Blink Stalkers are pretty good in the base trade, but the sheer fact of the matter is, it's a numbers game right now, and that numbers game, well, it should go to Classic, although that said, I guess if the Stalkers kind of start splitting up and it becomes a bit more of a weirder base trade, the Blink Stalkers definitely will have their uses once again. So it is a bit of a weird one actually. Gotta remember you've got these two Phoenix, which in terms of army supply are not going to add a lot to the fight. So despite it being 60 to 48, Patience also has a +1 upgrade. I mean, there's ways in which this could still work out. You can see a lot of probes from Classic up the top side. There's a couple of well, there's a little bit of money available to be spent. I mean, Patience also has some probes. Problem is, Patience doesn't have enough money to build anything. 55 minerals isn't even enough for an Assimilator, and that will not help him out. As we see, well, Patience is only going to have this Nexus and this Dark Shrine and the Pylon left over. So once all of that is gone, that's pretty much going to be it as Patience. I mean, again, he may be able to get rid of these buildings here pretty quickly, but again, the overall problem will be that he's just not going to have any builders that he can build of his own. So we're going to be seeing these Stalkers continue to work their way through the gates and all the rest, and that's going to be Classic continue to work his way through this Nexus as well. And looking to see what else they can do. So Nexus is going to go down. The Stalker's going to work their way through this Dark Shrine as well, which is out on the map, and that is the last building of Patience alongside the Pylon, which is next to it. And so Patience types out the GG as Classic takes down every single building.